University Radio, WBUJ-LP, Miami Shores, Miami.
Another day, another sound off. Welcome back to Let's Talk About It. I am your host, Zanelle Bailey, and my co-host,
Jessica Morenzi.
And today we've got some things to talk about right here on 99.5 WBUJ The Mix, Miami Shores, Florida. Jessica, what's up?
What is poppin'?
Nothing. Welcome back to the show. Are you excited to be here?
Yes, again.
Alrighty, so we're going to throw it to a song real quick, and then we'll start the discussion when we come back.
What you doing? Where you at? Oh, you got plans. Don't say that. Shut your trap. I'm sipping wine. In a robe. I look too good to be alone. My house clean. My pool warm. Just shake. Smooth like a newborn. We should be dancing, romancing in the east wing and the west wing of this mansion. What's happening? I ain't playing no games. Every word that I say is coming straight from the heart. So if you're trying to lay in these arms, I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open, girl. I'ma leave the door open. Let you feel the way I feel, and you want me like I want you tonight, baby. Tell me that you're coming through. Ooh, you're so sweet, so tight. I won't bite unless you like. If you smoke, I got the haze. And if you're hungry, girl, I got fillets. Ooh, baby, don't keep me waiting. There's so much love we could be making. I'm talking kissing, cuddling, rose petals in the bathtub. Girl, it's jumping, it's bubbling. I ain't playing no games. Every word that I say is coming straight from the heart. So if you're trying to lay in these arms, I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open. I'ma leave the door open, girl. I'ma leave the door open. Let you feel the way I feel, and you want me like I want you tonight, baby. Tell me that you're coming through. La 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 la, I need you, baby. La la la, la 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 la, I got to see you, baby. La la la, la 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 la, girl, I'm trying to give you this Hey, I'ma leave my door open. I'ma leave the door open, baby. I'ma leave my door open, girl. And I'm hoping that you feel the way I feel, and you want me like I want you tonight, baby. Tell me that you're coming
Alrighty, thank you to everyone tuning in right now from wherever you are as we sound off about Kanye's and Kyrie Irving anti-Semitic tweets that's been happening over the last few weeks. So just in case you don't know, Kanye first made headlines at his Yeezy Paris fashion show on October 3rd when he wore a shirt with the phrase White Lives Matter on the back. Jessica, you saw that. I'm
Yeah.
sure you saw it on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Celebrities such as Jaden Smith, who left the Yeezy fashion show early, tweeted, "If I don't feel the message, I'm out." And he also quoted Black Lives Matter. But that wasn't the end of Kanye's whole social media rant that he went on. On October 8th, he ended his 2-year hiatus from Twitter by posting anti-Semitic tweets, which I won't be repeating here today. But those tweets were later taken down from the social platform, and his Instagram was also disabled a few weeks prior. You would think that's it, right? But it's not it. On October 16th, he appeared on an episode of Drink Champs, which is a popular culture podcast, and he stated he made some claims about the George Floyd documentary that was produced, if I'm not mistaken, by Candace Owens.
Oh, wow.
And he basically gave his 2 cents on what he felt like led to the death of Mr. Floyd. We all know what happened with that situation.
Exactly.
And according to him, he said that's not what happened. So that's kind of the whole ordeal that Kanye has been on. And over the weeks, we've seen how social media and everything else has played like a role in canceling him and all of that extra stuff. But how do you feel about the comments? We'll deal with the comments. Both comments. How do you feel about it?
Okay. Honestly, I feel like Kanye is just doing anything and everything to like just continue to stay relevant, in my opinion. Like, you know, like it sounds like on one side he's like okay for a second, and then another moment he's not, you know, like, and he's just saying something out of pocket, you know. But at the same time, like, I'm not gonna knock anyone for what they say and what their beliefs are, but I think he needs to like really evaluate what he be saying sometimes. Like, dude, what? Like,
exactly. And my thing is, like, in the past, we've seen him go on these rants. We've seen him get on social media and say some wild things, right? Mm-hmm. But, and even those were wrong because some of them was attacking his own, like his ex-wife's family.
Exactly.
But I feel like now you're not just talking about your circle of people that you know. You're talking about 2 different groups of people. Like, you're talking about, you went on a Black Lives Matter rant, and then you made your anti-Semitic comments.
Like, exactly. It's like I guess what people are really angry about, and like I guess where I'm like I can go along with that, is like it's like the confusion on like, yo, whose side are you on, bro? Like, exactly. You know, like one moment you're saying this, and one moment you're saying that, exactly. You know. And honestly, both of them are both like kind of like completely off the rails. It's like Kanye is hitting every extreme on every single matter like that, like is occurring in like social media today. Exactly. Like with Black Lives Matter, don't get me wrong, like yes, there's certain things that need to be fixed with the movement in general, okay, whatever. But the fact that he just like blatantly just goes like, you know, off the rails and says all these things about the Black Lives Matter movement. I think one of he had a press conference.
He did.
About like his rant on the Black Lives Matter movement, you know. Where I think some of the leaders even like responded to him on Twitter around that time. And then like with the anti-Semitic tweets, I honestly, you guys, this is why TikTok is so dangerous. TikTok is what you know, kind of like was showing everything that he was saying and everything. And of course, once again, will not be like repeating that kind of, you know, hate speech here. No, but like what he was saying was like completely like off like the charts of like and
it wasn't true.
Exactly. And then what's so crazy is he says, oh well, I'm black, so you know I
can say what I want.
Yeah, like I can't be anti-Semitic. And I'm just like,
yes you can.
What in the world?
Yes you can. I feel like that too is why, because in his case, like you brought up the point, he was like, oh, I can't be anti-Semitic, I'm black. And I'm like, that still doesn't give you a right to go out and tweet the crazy things that you tweet about.
Exactly.
Especially with the platform that you have. Like, you're not just a regular everyday person. You're not like me. You know what I mean? Like, I just have my friends, families, and a few random people on my social media. You have millions of people, millions upon millions of people that are looking at your tweets, and then you say stuff like that. You don't think for a second that you have Jewish followers that listens to your music, that idolizes you, that look at you as like, oh my God, that's my favorite rapper, that's my favorite artist, he's a businessman. So even if they don't listen to your music, I'm sure they have something from your line that you've dropped, because you've been dropping products for so long. So to just say that and not have no regards for that, I feel like that's the part that blew me. And trying to say, oh, you're black, okay, yeah, you're black, but that still doesn't give you the right to make comments about any group that's out there. Exactly.
Because he fails to realize, hello, there are black Jewish people too. Exactly. Like, you get what I mean? So it's like, okay, now, like, you know, like, regardless of religion, you get what I mean? You still are taking a hit to a community, and it's just like, there's absolute like no regard for them. And my thing is also is that when it comes down to it, is that he oh, Kanye.
Oh, Kanye.
I have to think of this also from like the business perspective. You get what I mean? Like, the reality is, because you know, Jewish people have been around for so long, right? You know, they are incorporated in a lot of these businesses. Yeah. You know, they are incorporated in a lot of, you know, different parts of like the media and stuff like that. Exactly. So my thing is like, dude, like,
you're a businessman.
Exactly. Like why would now hold on. Like, I don't want to be like, oh, like, hello, like, the money, don't stand up for what you believe in, whatever, you know? Yeah. But still why would you attack like such a huge part of your fan base? You get what I mean? It's kind of like, I don't know, like Jack Harlow going and saying like he don't like black people or something, like,
and we support his music so much.
Exactly. Or like or him saying that he doesn't support the LGBTQ community or something like that. Like, do you know how many people would be like, Jack Harlow, after you did that song with Lil Nas X, like, that's how you gonna do us? Exactly. Like, you get what I mean? So it's just like, even with him, I'm just like, how, like, if that really is his own like personal like beliefs and stuff.
But my thing is, with the anti-Semitic comments he made, it wasn't even like he was, from my understanding of it, when I read it, it wasn't saying that he believed they are this or they are not this. Yeah. That was somebody else who we're going to talk about later, because that was wild. But he was saying what he was going to do to this community.
Oh, yeah.
If you guys can read between the lines.
Exactly.
And it's just like, what made you wake up one day and say, or not even wake up one day. When you tweet something, you have to sit there and type it out. Exactly. It's not like someone asks you a question and they're recording and you just say something off the top of your head. No, you sat there, you picked up your phone. He was on a 2 years hiatus from Twitter.
And the first thing he does when he comes back on Twitter,
the thing Kanye did was something that got him banned again.
Something that got him canceled, bro. Like,
and I'm just like, sir, like, what? Like, was it that? Did you need to get that off your chest so bad that you said a platform that you weren't using for 2 years? You said, I'm gonna get on this platform, and now bash this community or say some violent things about this community. Exactly. It's just, it doesn't make sense and it's not fair. And I want to say that it's Kanye, and I read a lot of comments like the Shade Room or Hollywood Unlocked.
Yeah.
And they'll, like, a lot of people in the comments will say, oh, well, that's Kanye, you know. We know Kanye to be that. Like, Kanye says what's on his mind. That's fine. You can say what's on your mind. But when you do something that can influence violence,
millions of people,
because you're saying that now, your fan base is taking that and be like, well, if he's saying it, I can do it. You know,
exactly.
Like, this can lead to way more than just, like, he said something or he's hate speeching against another community. These, like, this is, and we've seen it before.
Yeah.
We've seen our former president made a comment or said certain things.
Yep.
And the people that supported him, what did they do? We had the riot.
Yep, they ran with it.
We had a whole riot on Capitol Hill. So I feel like that alone should have been a lesson for known people, figures, celebrities, influencers, and not even just them, like us, like regular people too, because again, if you have a following on any social platform, what you say or what you do can influence another person.
Of course, 100%.
So I feel like that's just something that you take into consideration before you do or go and make any comments to any group.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely, like, you brought up a great point about, like, just like celebrities. Like, I just think of, like, like the Beehive, for example, with Beyonce,
so
right?
Toxic.
Like, if you say one thing, or, like, you get what I mean? They are
up.
at you.
It's
like,
have
about
you seen
Beyonce.
The bees a celebrity or somebody will say something about Beyonce, and the bees, like, you'll just see a bunch of bees in their comments, and you're like, dang.
They're going crazy in their comments. And they, so I just think of that, like, now if a celebrity like Beyonce, you get what I mean, were to go out and say something like that, the way she has that type of influence on people, honestly,
they would have ran with it.
Exactly.
They would have ran with it.
There's too many people who would have took that and ran with it.
Yep.
And, like, that is where, like, honestly, like, with everything that he said, like, it could have been, like, for lack of a better term, like, back in the days, genocide. Like, what was he thinking when he said that?
Exactly. And even what he said about the whole George Floyd comment that he made on the podcast, right? This is what baffled me. When that situation happened, it was publicized. Like, the whole thing from start to finish was publicized, right?
The whole world had to sit
and watch it.
Exactly. In COVID-19, we were in lockdown. Exactly. Everyone had the time to sit and watch that
and deal with it.
Exactly.
Like, I remember going through that period. I remember, like, I didn't watch the whole video because I'm not that, like, I don't like to see stuff like that, right? But I saw clips of it, of course, thanks to social media. I saw clips of it, and I'll watch, like, maybe 10, 15 seconds here and there. So I've probably seen the whole thing, but not, like, sat and watched the whole thing. I'm like, one, the cause of death in that video it's right there.
Clearly.
We all saw it. It wasn't even something that we had to think about, like, I wonder what happened. Like, it happened there. One, the whole world came out to protest because of the cause of death here. Everyone knows about it. You, as a celebrity at the time, donated to that family. You made a donation because he left behind a daughter.
Yeah.
And you donated to that family, and for you to now come back and say, it's almost like a slap in the face to that family. You know what I mean? It's like you had our backs back then.
Kind of like reliving the trauma.
Exactly. And now someone that has helped us, because even he made the tweet recently. He made a tweet and said, I donated to the George Floyd family. I was there for support, yada, yada, yada. And then for you to come back and go on a huge podcast. They were nominated recently for an award. That's how big Drink Champs is. This is not just a platform or a podcast that's coming off the ground.
Yeah.
Or, like, now everyone is kind of tuning in, or the podcast that we see on TikTok,
Yeah,
with
exactly.
so much opinion. This is a well-known podcast. And you went there and you made that comment. You basically just said, forget the donations that I gave to y'all. I only did that. You know what that looks like? That now looks like for him, he only did that because of what was happening in that moment. And to gain fans and to gain support and to gain people to look at him and be like, oh, look at Kanye.
Yeah, go with the times.
Exactly.
The publicity stunt.
A publicity stunt. And it sucks because that's not the time for you to use that as a publicity stunt. That was a real life situation that affected millions
of people.
And for you to do this, I feel like that's where a lot of people, especially in our community, they're feeling like, well, why did you do it? Now you slapped us in the face. I think
with that going along with the anti-Semitic remarks, it was just like, bro, we can't stand behind you on this. Like, you know, it was just like, that's where I was like, you know, in the beginning, like, hey, like, it's kind of like, whose side are you on? Like, you know, and even and either way, like, it doesn't matter. Like, with both those remarks that were said, it didn't matter whose side you were on, because obviously whichever way he would have went, it was still wrong.
It was still wrong,
you know. So like, that's what like really sucks about what he's been saying, because I just remember, like, you know, like, Kanye is a big part of a lot of our childhoods, you know. A lot of our childhoods. His music was
he's an icon,
literally.
Well, I'm gonna say, for me, he was an icon.
No, I agree 100%.
I have an older sister, so I grew up on
I have an older brother.
Exactly. So he is someone that I grew up on his music, and now being a semi-adult, or an adult, I guess, a young adult for the lack of terms, I guess. For me being a young adult, I saw him transition from not just a rapper or his music to being a business mogul. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I feel like you literally watched the rise. Well, I wasn't there when he was rising, but you watched him go from his highest to the lowest with everything he said.
Exactly.
With like just that quick.
And I think that's what like kind of bothers like me the most about the remarks, is like with anything, like when you grow up with something and then for it to just like disappear. Like, I feel like even now, kids nowadays, if they're still growing up on his music, considering, like, you know, old heads rule, and they're still like playing his music and stuff like that. Like, if there's kids growing up like with social media, right, being so influential, being so you know, just incorporated in young children's lives today, I just can only imagine how a kid who's listening to this music right at home and then sees that he's saying this, like, what are these kids thinking? That oh, like, well, I mean, as long as you make good music, you can say whatever you want. You know. And it's just not a good it's not a good message to be sending out. It definitely isn't the way that, like, you know, our generation is trying to form the future, reform the future. Yeah. And it's kind of crazy that he would think that, like, after everything he went through to get to the point that he's at right now, you go to, like,
that's what I was saying too. I was like, okay, when I was growing up, I knew him as a legend. Kanye is it. You know? Yeah. Now for us, if we do, or when we do have kids, can you imagine? It's not going to be like, oh, Kanye is an icon, he was a legend back in the day. It's going to be the crazy things that our generation are going to have to tell our kids about this man. Yeah. Like, I think that's so unfair. And the fact that he doesn't see that is kind of crazy and kind of wild. Because for me, I can tell my kids, oh, when I knew Kanye was it. Yeah. And then now to see, imagine someone in our generation, older, younger, right, have a kid. And 3 years from now or 5 years from now, you're telling your kid, yeah, Kanye was crazy. Or this bipolar thing that they have going on in the media. That's sad. And you're a black man. That's sad.
It's very sad. Very, very sad.
It's crazy.
It's honestly like it just makes me question, like, a lot of the things that anybody posts on social media now. Especially with celebrities, like everything they post, it's like, okay, what is what is the goal behind this post?
Exactly. Are you sincere, or are you just doing it to fit in right now?
Exactly.
Yep.
Like, and that's how I feel with Kanye. Like, I don't know, like, now when he, like, when, but even before, when he first was going on, like, his, like, kind of, like, riot, his, like, rant, when he was, like, running to be president, oh my God.
I forgot about that.
Yes, like, when he was running to be president, right? Like, I'm just like, are you for real? Like, even back then, I was just like, I'm not sure. Like, now even with him specifically, like, and like, but I will say, like, I feel like he started it where, like, now I feel like with any celebrity and stuff, I'm like, I don't know if you're for real or not.
I don't know your motives.
Exactly. Like, and I don't know. I think I'm like, back then I could easily say, like, I am all for this celebrity. You know what I mean? Like, no matter what they do, how they do it, no matter what happens, boom, this celebrity, I'm down for them. Like, you get what I mean? But like, now
there has to be a line, though.
Yeah, now
there has to be a line.
It's just like, you can't. It makes you afraid to put full faith into leaders. Yeah, you know, because regardless of like how they got into that position, at the end of the day, they're leaders in like a lot of our eyes. And what they say and do brings out a lot of action. Yes. So, like, when I think of what they're doing and what they're saying, I'm just like, oh, my gosh, like, all right, so how am I supposed to move after this? Exactly. Like, how am I supposed to, like, you know, kind of handle myself in the greater society, you know, because this is how this person feels about this. And I was like, I wonder, like, for example, with Kanye's comments, I wonder if this is going to ignite. I mean, it probably has, but I haven't personally seen it hit home yet. But I want to see how much this will like rile up conversations within, you know, our community, within, you know, our school life community. Oh. I wonder like what is going to start being said, you know, just on everyday campus life. Like, what are people going to start saying? How will we address these conversations with, like, you know, a full round circle on every single side of it?
That's true. Because even with that, like you said, on campus, like, people are talking about it right now, right? And that leads me to the next thing of, with his comments, and like we said, he has billions or had billions of followers, right? Yeah. Do you think,
oh Lord.
Do you think, well, I think we already know the answer to this, but we know that celebrities, their comments, the things they say, whether it's tweeted, live, interviews, whatever, they influence people. And it's sad to say that, because, don't get me wrong, I feel like you should be your own influence. I feel like you should look at people you actually know in your life that you have seen be amazing, done great things, whether it's in the community or just life as a general, right? I feel like those individuals should be your role model, but you cannot take away from the fact that, yes, we do see these celebrities, we do see these influencers, and we look up to them. Yeah. That's kind of the point of social media. They're influencers, right? We look up to the way they dress, the way they act, and then we also look up to what they say. Yeah. If someone came out right now and said, oh, this new artist, Ice Spice. let's use Ice Spice. Okay. She's the newest artist I could think of.
You're right. So, she's new.
She's new, right? Imagine you go on social media, right? And you see, my favorite artist, male artist, is Chris Brown. And I see Chris Brown hyping her up, listening to her music, doing collabs with her, talking about her on interviews, saying she's the new best thing. What am I going to do? I'm going to go on Instagram. I'm going to type in her handle. I think it's Ice Spice. I don't know. It is? Okay. Yes. I'm going to type in Ice Spice. I'm going to hit follow. Yeah. Guess what? Now I'm following you. But why am I following you? Is because I was influenced by someone I looked up to. You know what I mean? So I feel like that too, it's sad that, you know, a lot of these celebrities, they do have their own opinion. Yes, they do
Yeah.
have their own thoughts, and that's fine. But I feel like I'm trying to figure out where's the line between, yes, you can have your own opinion, but yes, you are a celebrity. You
Yeah.
have millions of followers, so you can't just get online and say whatever you want to say.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So I feel like for me, that's where the hard part is. It's like, where is that line? Like, when do we draw the line and say, okay, yes, that celebrity has your opinion, but yes, they are a celebrity. People look up to them.
No, I think you're exactly right. I think it comes down to celebrities really understanding, and even like, I won't even say only celebrities. Like, it's also us as individuals recognizing what influence we have, you know, like, because even the smallest of tweets, you know, on social media can boom, go viral.
Yep.
You know, so like, being very conscious about what you're saying, because the one thing about the internet, it's forever.
It's forever.
It's not going anywhere.
Nowhere.
Anytime soon.
His account was banned, but guess what? You can Google those tweets right now. It's gonna pop up.
There'll be millions and thousands of screenshots. Someone will have reposted it, retweeted it, and everything. And those retweets, you can't even get rid of the retweets. You get what I mean? So it's just like you at this point, like, it should not be a question. Hello.
Yes.
Think about what you put on the
It
internet
shouldn't be a question
before you put it.
It shouldn't. And I feel like as a celebrity, okay, right? I'm putting myself in the situation. Yes, if I have an opinion or something, or a thought about something that's happening, or I wake up and have a crazy thought that I just need to get off my chest, that's what you have your group chat for. Go talk to your friends.
Exactly.
Go talk to your family. You have your boys. You have your girls. Talk to them about it.
Exactly.
Handle it in private. You know what I mean? Like, this is not, okay, you come online and you say, oh, I don't like this restaurant. I like this restaurant. Cool. Whatever. We can live with that. There's no harm in that. But I feel like when it comes to topics that you know, and as much as people say, oh, Kanye is crazy. Oh, celebrities are like off the wall. Kanye is smart.
Yeah.
These celebrities, he's smart.
You
have to be smart to go from nothing. If you look at his childhood,
Yep.
And I wouldn't even say nothing. I feel like it's something to someone.
Yeah.
Right? But to go from where you were when you first started in this industry, before people even know who Kanye was, and to go from where he was at a couple weeks ago, because after October, he just went down. So from there to September of this year, that's been years.
Yep.
And to go from that to that, you have to be smart. So he is smart in what he's doing. So I feel like there's no reason why he shouldn't know. Like, this tweet that I'm about to make, before he hit post, I'm sure he thought, yeah, this is going to rile him up.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? For a long time, I used to think, hey, like, maybe it's their managers, like, just doing something crazy on their accounts, you know?
Ain't Kanye's manager.
Ain't no way. Ain't no way.
I
like,
don't even know if does Kanye have a manager?
Oh, I don't know.
Kanye,
I think he does.
He does?
I think he does. But even still, like, I think what it is just like with celebrities, y'all, they just need to really really hone in on like what they're saying.
Exactly.
And who they're saying it to, because like regardless of the fact, like, you shouldn't just be trying to hurt people, man.
Exactly.
Like,
and you know what else I noticed too with that? Okay, the tweets he made, yes, it was on Twitter. Twitter took it down. As we know, Twitter is quick to take certain stuff down, right? Yep. What the Drink Champ episode that he did, right? And this is another point that I thought of when I first saw it. I that's the first thing that kind of came to my mind. I feel like when that episode was shot, if the host of that, it's not a radio show like where we're live right now, right? This is a podcast that's recorded. The audio is then looked at, placed together, edited, and then posted, right?
Yep.
That's a podcast. You were there and you heard him say this. Why did you put it out? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, yes, he said what he said. And you're probably thinking, okay, this is his opinion. But they got backlash for that as well, because a lot of people were like, you sat there. Yep. You let this man finish his thought. It wasn't like an interruption or like, oh, nah, like, I don't think that's the case. He sat there and got his thoughts off. He said what he had to say. And then you edited it, sat there and took it and posted it. Yeah. Why would you post it?
You see, but you know, that's where I go back to that whole thing about, like, I feel like everything is kind of like planned.
It's for views. It's clout.
It has to be.
Clout.
It has to be
a drug I hope to never be a part of.
It has to be, because like you said, they just got nominated, correct?
I think they've been nominated before, but they had just been nominated for an awards previously, and if I'm not mistaken, they won with Carisha. You know the awards Carisha won? Yeah. I think they won the second. It was 2 awards given out for that category. They had just won it. You know what I mean?
Okay. So, like, but then that's even more of, like, where I'm just like, that's where it is. Like, you get what I mean? Like, I think, and then you know what's crazy, but on their side still, they can still take the stance of, oh, like, well, I just needed to make sure the people knew.
But I feel like they could have still done that in a way of, okay, right? If last Friday, for example, we had some issues, so we didn't have an episode last Friday,
yes, we did.
So I feel like, and what did I do? I made a general post on social media that there will be 2 episodes this week. One today, one Friday, in case you haven't seen it. We have another episode Friday, but you make a post about it, right? Yeah, that's what you do. I feel like as a podcast, okay, you have a podcast that's supposed to be released at a certain time. That was the podcast you filmed, and you heard what it was. That's fine. They had 2 options. One, they could have still posted it, and at the clip where he said what he said about the Floyd family, you blank it out, and right there in that clip, you can. It's a video. We were watching a video. You could put up a screen that says this part of the video was cut out because of comments made about the respective families, loved one that was murdered. Yeah. And we don't feel like, or as a brand, we do not condone or accept that type of verbiage. Yeah. So we would rather, like we said today, I'm not going to sit here and repeat what he said, because I don't have to do that. I'm not going to continue to publicize or give energy or attention to something so negative that someone said. You know what I mean? They could have said that.
I get you on that. But then, like, they wouldn't have been able to, I guess, in a sense, protect themselves. Because, like how we were just saying, the Kanye is an icon in a lot of people's eyes, right? So if all of a sudden they just went like, oh, yeah, Kanye said this, right? Or whatever, and or like they were just like, oh, unfortunately, like there were some comments made by our guests that we did not feel comfortable, the entire internet is gonna blow up and think they're lying. True. They're gonna be like, nah, y'all just trying to talk smack about Kanye. Y'all just trying to make Kanye look bad. So true. I feel like in a sense they posted it to, one, get clout, but at the same time I feel like they also posted it like they knew if they had posted it without showing the evidence that he did say it, it would have been like, oh, well, it's an attack on Kanye. Like I feel like they were really trying. Like I think this was honestly for them like a double win. Like not only are they getting the clout, they are also
bringing like awareness to something.
Exactly. I feel showing that like, oh, like even the celebrities that you guys continue to just like kind of like scoot by or let pass, or like honestly and I, like kind of referring back to what you said earlier about how like people are just like, oh, well, y'all know Kanye just be saying stuff or whatever. No. You need to hold these celebrities accountable, regardless of how many years they've been in the industry. They need to be held accountable for what they're saying. Yes. And it takes people like actually saying the truth. So in a sense, you know, their podcast, like, what is it? Drink Champs, right?
Yeah.
Drink Champs is literally covering themselves at the same time, but they're also like kind of like in a sense like exposing what like hello these celebrities are saying, y'all. This is how these celebrities feel. Exactly.
That's how they feel.
So like in a sense, I think they can take the stance of like, hey, like we're trying to make sure that y'all understand that like these people that you're following, these people that you're putting so much faith in, this is how they really feel. Exactly. So kind of like exposing them, right?
True.
But at the same time, like, no, I do agree that like I didn't see the podcast directly because
I didn't see I saw clips.
I didn't even want to hear it because I was like, oh,
that was me at first, because when I first saw it, I was like, okay, I don't want to really hear what he said, because mind you, this came out October 16.
Yeah.
All the other stuff that he's been doing came out before. So at that point, I was over it. I was like, I don't want to see what Kanye has to say.
Another thing, yeah.
Right? And then I was like, okay, I have to bring awareness to this on this show.
Yeah. So
I went and I watched the video. And I kid you not, after the first maybe 30 seconds, I was like, yeah, I am only going to talk on this piece that I see. Everything else I'm not going to mention because I can't finish the video.
Yeah.
I said it to my sister and she hung up the phone. She was like, I'm not having this conversation with you. Are you crazy?
It's crazy because like the thing is that that stuff, that type of verbiage, that type of like hate speech, it sits in your mind.
Yeah.
Regardless of like, you know, if you're a part of the community or not,
exactly.
It's going to sit in your mind.
It's going to sit in your mind.
And like, there's going to be the people who are going to listen to it, you know, kind of brush it off. But then later on, it'll be implanted in their minds regardless. But later on, you never know like what people are going to say later on down the road.
Exactly.
And like, you know, it just triggers, you know, saying something ruthless like that. You get what I mean?
Yep.
And then like, but I think about me, for example, I would just feel like I would feel even more tiptoeish. Like, you know, I would feel like, all right, now, you know what I thought when I first heard about it? I was like, well, all right, another target on my back.
No facts.
Like, I was like, here we go. Like, because in my opinion, I feel like it was just like kind of like another person in the Black community kind of like just calling out and saying something about someone or another group, and it's just like, oh, here we go again. Like,
why us?
Another reason
why us
for us to be put into another category.
Exactly.
You get what I mean?
And I feel like that's why it's so not even important, because I don't feel like the fall of any one celebrity or whoever is something that should be glorified.
Yeah.
I don't think it's something that we should, be happy that it happened, because, again, it is sad. But I do think, now hear me out, I do think that it was necessary for cancel culture to step in.
What?
Because he got canceled. And I'm going to read off a list of all the people that canceled him, but I'm going to do that when we come back from break. Yeah. We're going to talk about it because Lord. He got canceled bad. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
Yeah. Sometimes we laugh and sometimes we cry, but I guess you know now. Baby, I took a half and she took the whole thing. Slow down. Baby, we took a trip, now we on your block and it's like a ghost town. Baby, where did these be at when they say they doing all this and all that? Tired of beefing you bums, you can't even pay me enough to react. Been waking up in the crib and sometimes I don't even know where I'm at. Please don't pay that songs in this party, I can't even listen to that. Anytime that I run into somebody, it must be a victory lap. Hey, shawty come sit on my lap. Hey, they saying Drizzy just snap. This in between us is not like a store, this isn't a closable gap. Hey, I see some attack and don't end up making it back. I know that they at the crib going crazy down bad. What they had didn't last, damn baby. Sometimes we laugh and sometimes we cry, but I guess you know now. Baby, I took a half and she took the whole thing. Slow down. Baby, we took a trip, now we on your block and it's like a ghost town. Baby, be at when they say they doing all this and all that?
I'm in the trenches, relax. Can you not pay that little boy in the club? Cause we do not listen to rest. We in Atlanta, I buy her wig. She telling me Tay is the best. Point at that who act like a killer, but you only one from the net. I'm like the baby, I'm not just a rapper. You play with me, you gon' get stretched. Bring Drake to the hood, surround Drake around. Even though I got a case, I'ma do what it take.
And I never been embraced, and the money's hard to make. So I bet they on their face right now. I know that they at the crib going crazy down bad. What they had didn't last, damn baby. Sometimes we laugh and sometimes we cry, but I guess you know now. Baby, I took a half and she took the whole thing. Slow down. Baby, we took a trip, now we on your block and it's like a ghost town. Baby, where did these be at when they say they doing all this and all that? When he tell the story, that's not how it went. No, they be lying 100%. Moved out of the risk and forgot about the bend. Now they just called me to tell me come get it. Now that boy off and I don't want no credit. If it was me, they wouldn't regret it. Left me for dead and now they won't dead it. Yeah. Heart is still beating, my still eating. Backyard it look like the garden eating. Pillow talk with him, she spilling the tea. And then Shawty came back and said she didn't mean it. It's hard to believe it. I know that they at the crib going crazy down bad. What they had didn't last, damn baby. Sometimes we laugh and sometimes we cry, but I guess you know now. Baby, I took a half and she took the whole thing. Slow down. Baby, we took a trip, now we on your block and it's like a ghost town. Baby, where these be at when they say they doing all this and all that?
Push a P. Yeah, push a P. Turn me up. Turn me up, P. Pointers in the paddock in my piece. I'm push a P.
Cop new hammers for my P. We don't want no peace.
Got a spot across the spot. Just for peace.
Drop the data, now we plantin' exotic peas. She not a lesbian for peace. She turned lesbian. Push a P.
I'm push a P. On capital P, I write the president, count presidents.
Push a P.
Portuguese on her knees, mopping down a P. She let me squeeze and she leave, cause she keep a P.
Private suite, privacy, I'm pushing P.
Purple paint, pink, push a P.
Push a P.
I'm push a P.
Push a P.
I'm push a P.
Yeah. Push a P.
I'm push a P.
Push a P.
I'm push a P.
Yeah.
I pop a P. I'm paranoid. I can't sleep. My pockets deep. Got rest on me. Why they watching me? I'm
Push a P.
I'm push a P.
Push a P.
I'm push a P.
Yeah.
Touch it, watch it P. Okay, bought a P, not a pill of Porsche.
Push a P.
3 P's, popcorn, Porsche.
Push a P.
I just finished a cup of water. I did. Push a P, red bandana Cardinals. I'm a P, you at your whole endorsement. Yeah. She ain't vanilla for me, she simply porcelain. I never saw ops, now we finally touched it. She ready to get in the streets for me, no question. Too rich to text, I let my shoulder forward it. Take the P at the alphabets, try to sort it. I'm pushing P.
I'm push a P.
I'm pushing P.
Push a P.
I'm push a P. P.
Push a P.
I'm push a P.
Push a P.
I'm push a P.
Yeah.
And we are back with your host, Zanelle of Let's Talk About It. I have my co-host here,
Jessica.
Yes, and we have been talking about practically the rise and fall of Mr. West, Mr. Ye, whatever his name
Mr.
is that
Yeezy.
whatever his name is that he goes by. And before we left off, or we went on break, I brought up the fact that he was canceled or dropped from a lot of his major investments. So he was a billionaire, right? He was one of the world's richest men. Really, Jessica? And he is no longer that. It was removed because of the cancellation, right? Who else canceled him? Adidas ended their partnership.
Adidas canceled their partnership,
which is crazy. What is it? Gap pulled their products.
Yes, pulled their products.
Foot Locker
off the floor.
Yes. A lot of thrift stores said they're not going to accept donations from his product. His playlist or his songs went offline on Apple Music and Spotify. A lot of companies, Balenciaga, said that they're not working with him right now, and they have no plans on working with him. So a lot of these big brands have canceled him. And like I said, I don't feel like it's something that we should glorify or something that we should be like, yeah, he's canceled. But I do think it should be an example. And we've seen how cancel culture ruin a lot of celebrities. The Baby, he made some comments and did not care and thought he was so above everyone that he's now canceled, and he's selling tickets, buy one, get one free for $22. In New York City, his ticket was $20, and I was like, in New York City is expensive. So it's just like, I feel like all in all to say is that just be careful. I feel like celebrities should just be careful what they say and what they put out there, because we're only going to take so much, and you don't want to make the wrong community mad.
Exactly.
Because the black community been letting you slide. We've been letting you slide for years, months, weeks. But you mess with the wrong community, and you see how easy it was for you to go from up here to down here.
Yeah. No, but I think you're 100% right, because but I do want to say something about that part right there. But the black community just letting it slide. You get what I mean? I think this was a pure example of what cancel culture is. Just like people finally realizing that they have power.
Yes.
Like people finally realizing hey, if someone is saying something that you don't like, that you don't agree with,
speak up about it.
Speak up about it. And not only speak up about it, do something about it.
Because we did. I'm sorry, and I am one of those people. We did nothing about it when he's been talking about us for the longest.
Exactly.
We still wear his products. Guilty. I am. We still purchase his stuff.
Speaking of his products,
oh God.
Just so you guys know, the Yeezy products have dropped tremendously,
of course,
in price.
Now I'm not even gonna say now.
So anybody, I don't know if anybody, all the sneakerheads, the main websites, the GOAT, StockX, Drop Plug, all of these websites that are have for example, the most common ones that I see, the Yeezy slides and the Yeezy foam runners, those have dropped. It's like a 50% off sale.
Yeah, no, on a lot of them went
all of the products.
You can almost purchase one of his products for the same price as it would without the resale.
Exactly. It's crazy.
Yeah, because most of his shoes and stuff came through Adidas.
Yeah.
So if Adidas drop you, I mean, I'm sure he's probably looking for the next company or brand to pick up another company to pick up his brand.
Yeah.
But that still doesn't take up from the fact that you've lost millions.
Yeah, exactly.
In this, and like you said, we did nothing about it.
Nothing.
But you said the wrong thing about the wrong community, because they wiped him out.
Yeah.
And I feel like that should just be an example, because if you read the comments, a lot of people are like, well, it took him saying an anti-Semitic tweet or posting something anti-Semitic for him to get canceled.
Exactly.
Which is true, because you've been saying all this stuff about the Black African American community for the longest, and you were fine. You felt like you was God. You said you was up there with God. And it's just sad that we waited so long. And like I said, it's not something that we should be waiting for him to get canceled, because nobody wants to get canceled. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Especially, I'm sorry, as a Black man, a business person. Like, you never want to see someone just wake up one day and everything is gone. But I feel like there's consequences
for what you do and say.
Actions.
And that's what my thing is, like, you know, whether it be the Jewish community, whether it be the Black community, whether it be Hispanic, Latino community, whether it be the LGBTQ community, you know, because, you know, their community dabbles into almost every race. You know what I mean? No, every race.
Yeah.
The reality is like, these communities of people are communities for a reason.
Yeah.
And if someone is making an outlandish comment, or specifically attacking your community that you are a part of, why are you not completely coming together as a community and canceling this person?
Yep.
This should not have only been like, oh, like it took, you know, Jewish people as a community to go ahead and come together and cancel Kanye.
That's true.
Kanye should have been canceled way back when, honestly. like if we really want to be honest, Kanye should have been canceled way back when he first said crazy stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And
that's the truth.
And I think for especially the Black community, what I'm seeing is that, like, because he was Black and because he was this person, you know, one of the very few people of color who had made it to that status of billionaire, I think everyone was too happy about the greatness he brought for the community, that they were not willing to
let that go.
Exactly. They were not willing to let that go.
That's true.
Versus, but like, you know,
that's true.
this is a learning experience.
It's a learning
so
experience.
It shouldn't be only like, hello, like he's saying anti-Semitic, you know, comments. I want this same type of energy for when your local officials are saying these type of things.
Yep.
So whoever did not vote yesterday, you know, I mean, what's done is done. We have to lay in our coffin. But
those results,
you know, I'm just saying, like, this should be a wake up call for anyone and everybody who is out there. You know, if you are a part of a community, I mean, everyone's a part of a community, please be aware of, like, the celebrities and the officials that you have in power in your life, and be ready to actually do something about it, and do something about it when the time comes. Do not wait until, like, it's like dang near at the point where, like, someone could possibly get physically hurt to actually do something.
Period. And we're going to end off on that note. So thank you for tuning in today to Let's Talk About It. Again, I am your co-host, and I'm your host. Well, I'm giving away my title. I am your host, Zanelle Bailey, and thank you to my co-host today, Jessica, for coming and talking with me. Like I said before, stay tuned for another episode on Friday, right here at 99.5 The Mix, WBUJ, Miami Shores, Florida. Bye.
No me des besos que se me nota en el chándal, y con un roce tonto enseguida se me agüita, baby. Somos agua y aceite, te miro y grito Mayday, oh lady. No hay nadie que reine por ti. Y tú, que me haces sentir que soy para ti, y luego me sueltas.